Missouri Valley's fall semester is now at its halfway point. I'm Kivion Long. Welcome to KMVC News. Midterm week is done, and unlike past semesters, the Learning Center did not make any changes to its usual routine. KMVC's Pedro Santos reports on this year's midterm week being just like any other.
Located at the 30th floor of the Beatty Hall, the Learning Center is one of the best spots to study around campus. And usually on midterm week, they make some changes in their activities, looking forward to support the students on this week. But this semester they treat it like a normal week. And director of the Learning Center, Rhonda Reeder, explained us the reason why.
We have done extended hours during finals week, and nobody came. I think they're used to going to the library and those kinds of things. So usually extended hours aren't well used up here in the Learning Center. My tutors can't very well work extended hours because they have other jobs and those kinds of things too. But they can work by appointment if somebody needs one.
One of the tutors, Leo Bilitardo, did not see much difference from this week to the past ones, and even says he has had busier weeks.
I felt that for like a midterm week, there was very few students coming in. Like mid-September, the first test was coming up. A lot of students were coming asking for help in math, business at all. And in this midterm week, just like 2 or 3.
If you finish this half of the semester with a bad grade, do not hesitate to set an appointment with a tutor from the Learning Center. Pedro Santos, KMVC News.
Students looking to schedule an appointment with the Learning Center tutors should simply go to the Learning Center. Students looking for a specific tutor can fill out a form at the Learning Center entrance. While midterms can be stressful for many students, having a furry little friend to play with takes all that stress away. KMVC's Cody Hoinberger reports on the happiest room on campus.
3 local shelter dogs were brought onto the Missouri Valley campus to help relieve the stress and anxiety from midterms. Students were able to drop by in between classes to Muro Library to meet Elsa, Bill, and Walter, all from the local Marshall Dog Shelter. History professor Tamara King says students felt much calmer after getting to pet the puppies.
One of the students who was there on Tuesday said she was between a physics exam and a chemistry exam, and she felt a lot calmer being there with the dog. But scientific studies show that when people come in contact with animals, their blood pressure drops, their heart rate slows, they get endorphins and feel good.
While this event was meant to reduce stress among students, it was also a project for the students of the intellectual history class. The class was to examine the interactions between students and dogs and the emotions they expressed. MVC student Cole Eichelhoff says it was the happiest room on campus.
You know, people were associating in ways that you don't see otherwise on campus, talking to people that they wouldn't have been comfortable to talk with before due to the fact that there was something they could discuss, such as, you know, the puppies. So that brought them closer together. And I really think it was the happiest room on campus for maybe even the whole semester, because there was not even one little bit of negative emotion.
After students were able to relax and meet the dogs, they expressed joy and were stress-free and ready for midterms. Cody Hornberger, KMVC News.
The puppies are available for adoption from the Marshall Pet Shelter. A new project has arisen for international students in order to improve their English in a more entertaining way. KMVC's Laura Carroll reports on a project that has people talking.
Each student has a native speaker assigned so that they can both interact and maintain English conversations. It is a more realistic and effective way for international students to improve the language. ESL professor Lana O'Hara says in which aspects can this problem help international students.
The ESL Conversation Pairs program is a great opportunity for English learners to make friends with native English speakers on campus and also to improve their English conversation skills.
As O'Hara says, it can also be an opportunity for native students to learn about different cultures and meet new people. Student Abigail Dan says how is her experience going.
I decided to participate and have an ESL partner was because it was a way for me to make friends since I'm not from here. And it was also a way for me to learn about the country she is from, which she's from a very small country, which you don't learn about in your history classes and all of that.
Freshman Rocío Pérez from Spain says how can this experience benefit her.
I think these conversation pairs can help me to improve my English and to know more people in town.
For more information about Conversation Pairs program, contact ESL instructor Lana O'Hara. Laura Quero, KMVC News.
The idea for conversation pairs existed before COVID-19 hit, but restrictions and subsequent masking policies prevented its growth. Rooftop greens and neighborhood gardens are a couple of projects popping up in larger cities to foster a sense of community and lessen the impact of food deserts. And the Mural Library is hosting the Urban Agriculture exhibit to expand the growth of the idea. Missouri Valley College Mural Library continues to host the deeply rooted Urban Agriculture exhibit for students to explore and learn more about agriculture. Dr. Christine Sanders, the Associate Professor of Agribusiness, says the exhibit is wonderful for students.
Deeply Rooted exhibit is really wonderful to have here on campus because as I observed directly when our introductory to agribusiness students went over and took a look, it opens not only the student eyes but also the colleagues around the campus and the community. It opens up our eyes to the power of agriculture and the specialness of agriculture.
Dr. Sanders says she would like not only Missouri Valley College agriculture students to take notice in the Deeply Rooted exhibit, but all Missouri Valley College students as well.
And I think the Deeply Rooted exhibit is a perfect example of how much history and how much information is available when we look closely, we look more deeply at what our very diverse state has to offer.
The Missouri Valley College Deeply Rooted exhibit is open for all Missouri Valley College students and staff. The exhibit will only be in the Mural Library until October 25th. The agribusiness major is designed for agriculture and natural resource-based careers. Cash, clothing, and electronics are just a few things stolen around college campuses nationwide, and students at Missouri Valley College are not exceptions as victims to this. KMVC's Mark Rodriguez reports on campus theft and how to potentially prevent it.
Every year at Missouri Valley College, students find some of their belongings missing when they get back to their dorms, and some students find their items missing just when they use the restroom in their dorms. Chandler Christensen, a Moval student, says his room was broken into while he was in the shower.
So I was in the shower at the time when our place got broken into, and so I was in the shower. My roommate was in the room, and he went up to get something to eat. So he was like, "Hey man, you want me to lock the door?" I was like, "No, I was finishing up." So I was maybe 2 minutes after he said he was going to leave it unlocked, and he left.
Locking the doors is the most beneficial way of preventing someone to break into your room. Christensen says they always lock the door, but the one time you don't could be costly.
Say just lock the door. Like that was literally the one time we didn't have it locked, and we paid for it.
Christensen says he and his roommates were lucky as the thieves dropped most of their belongings while running out the room. There were 10 reported burglaries on campus in 2021, and students are encouraged by public safety to report incidents on campus. Students can find more information on how to report an incident by going to the Safety and Security tab on moval.edu. Mark Rodriguez, KMVC News.
Public safety reports are filed annually and are available on the safety page on moval.edu. Missouri Valley receives donations for the Thor's Pantry to provide students with food, dishes, and utensils, but recently prices have been going higher and more students rely on the pantry more often. KMVC's Zaire Harden reports on how inflation impacting the Thor's Pantry.
The Thor's Pantry is where students can get provided food when they have no access of getting to the grocery store or when the cafeteria is closed on the holidays. James Rowlett says on why they have been more students rely on the pantry more often. The statement from Mr. Rowlett says, "We have noticed that students tend to use Thor's Pantry a bit more during the holiday breaks and when they know the cafeteria isn't going to be open. Recently, food prices from different stores have been inflating, and students who go to the grocery store rarely go anymore, now making appointments for the food pantry. Vice President Heath Morgan explains the reason why.
We started Thor's Pantry, or that I started Thor's Pantry, was to help battle food insecurity among college students. And as food prices rise, the level of food insecurity is also going to rise. So I would naturally think that Thor's Pantry is going to be more and more popular while this happens. I've heard that we're getting quite a few more individuals wanting to go to Thor's Pantry, but I don't know the exact numbers.
If you're ever in need of food or have shortage and have no access to the grocery store or cafeteria, schedule an appointment for the food pantry. Zaire Hart, KMVC News.
More information on Thor's Pantry is available on moval.edu. 36 years of gridiron competition came to an end on the 15th, as that marks the last time Missouri Valley plays Evangel as a Heart of America Athletic Conference opponent. The Vikings lead the all-time series 21-17, which includes a few games leading up to the Valor joining the Heart in 1987. Evangel is leaving the league for the Kansas Collegiate Athletic Conference for the 23 season. But while the game may mark the end of an era, it's also the beginning of the schedule of games against teams from the Heart's South Division. The game was a defensive struggle early on. The Vikings held the Valor to just 36 yards of offense in the first half and scored after a Valley turnover gave Evangel a short field. Missouri Valley couldn't put the ball in the end zone, and the 3 field goals gave the Vikings a 9-7 halftime lead. 2 long passes set up touchdowns for Evangel, and Valley trailed 21-9 before Oliver Seversky found Khalil Dampier to make it 21-16. The Vikings had 2 chances late to drive for the winning score, but both drives ended in interceptions. Valley falls to Evangel 21-16. That's the 6th straight loss to the Valor as the series comes to a close. Next up is Benedictine for the homecoming game. The top spot in the Heart of America Athletic Conference men's soccer standings was at stake on the 15th. Missouri Valley had the conference lead with 18 points on its 6-1 record, but Mid-America Nazarene sat just 1 point behind with its 5-1-2 record and 2 weeks remaining in the season. Every point is a shift in the standings. Missouri Valley's Sam Green put Valley on the board in the 15th minute with his 5th goal of the year, and that lead held until the 77th minute. The Pioneers scored twice in 41 seconds to propel MNU to the 2-1 win. The loss drops Valley to 6-2 and into 3rd in the Heart standings behind Central Methodist and Mid-America Nazarene. The women's match featured the 5th place Vikings against the Pioneers, who had a conference best 21 points. This game was also a defensive affair, neither team having more than a couple of scoring chances until the 73rd minute, when Missouri Valley's Morgan Dirks cross-found Carla Carmona for the game's only goal. The Vikings topped Pioneers 1-0 and improved to 6-1 and 1 and 19 points in the Heart. MNU's 7 wins and victory against Benedictine keeps the Pioneers in the league's top spot heading into this week's matches. The Missouri Valley women's volleyball team was riding a 3-game winning streak into its match, then number 10 Park. The Vikings were game through the match against the Pirates, who are ranked 14th in the latest NAIA poll. Senja Simona led Missouri Valley with 13 kills, and Lindsay Day added 30 assists, but it wasn't enough to overcome Park. The Vikings fall to the Pirates in competitive, but straight sets, 25-18, 25-22, and 25-19. The only other opponent left on the schedule that's currently ranked is on November 1st against 20th ranked Central Methodist. Missouri Valley was trying to sweep the season series against the Baker Wildcats, but the Vikings didn't have an answer for the Wildcats' Allison Frank, who had a game high with 15 kills and 3.5 blocks. Grace Wood had 38 assists, and Baker swept the Vikings to even the season series. Each team won on its home court, but the Vikings bounced back on the 15th with a come-from-behind win against Benedictine. Valley dropped the first 2 sets before taking the last 3, 25-20, 25-19, 15-10. Carolyn Santos and Senja Simona each had 17 kills. Lindsay Day had 50 assists and 18 digs, Momo Yokoyama had 19 digs, and the Vikings split the season series with the Ravens, this time with each team winning on the opponent's home floor. Culver Stockton is next for Missouri Valley on homecoming Friday. The Missouri Valley men's rodeo team captured another first-place finish in the Three Rivers Rodeo. Cooper Heimberg, Chase White, and Colton Ackenbach were event winners. That's now 23 straight rodeo wins in the Ozark region. The women's rodeo team finished third. Taylor Mason finished third in her event to lead the way. The Missouri Valley men's tennis team won 4-3 against NCAA Division II Quincy, while the women lost all 7 matches to the Hawks. The men end the fall season 2-0, and the women finished 1-2. The temperatures are dropping, the leaves are almost to peak color, and Halloween is just around the corner. So with the pumpkin spice, everything that's out this time of year, Missouri Valley offered a little pumpkin carving. The first 25 students that arrived at the multi-purpose room had the chance to get a pumpkin. Students chose whether to carve or paint the pumpkin while exploring their creativity. The staff provided all materials to help students make their drawings and paintings. They also had a prize for the pumpkin that best displays Vikings pride. The winner is announced on November 1st. Next week, KMVC News details the return of Spirit Week and all of the activity Missouri Valley's homecoming. Thanks for watching. I'm Kevion Long, and this is KMVC News.